Okay, this is a quick mock-up of how the consoles, or my new drawers and the kitchenette will assemble on this new vehicle. I haven't screwed anything in. I'm just putting it in place to kind of gauge where I need to bolt things down or screw things down. The layout, like I said, is pretty much the same as what I had in the original Little Blue. So Little Blue 2 is a new and improved Little Blue. Like I said, I haven't really put anything in. I'm just laying it out, and I'll be bringing the kitchenette unit here to lay it out and figure out where it needs to go. And then once I know that, I'll be screwing things into place. Assembly shouldn't take very long. The whole process of building this vehicle here, as you're seeing it, should take probably 2 or 3 days, maybe 5 days at the most. You know, what took me so long initially was trying things, getting things the wrong size, having to redo things. But now that I've done this already, you know, on like 4 or 5 other vehicles, I know what works and what doesn't. So I'm pretty sure that putting the kitchenette and everything else in won't take more than a couple hours at the most. As you can see, I've started to dismantle and remove the little kitchenette area from Little Blue, the 2004 Town & Country. You can see the glass here from the shattering when the rear of the van got struck, and you can see it even knocked all this out of whack here. I'm hoping that that the kitchenette here itself is still intact. It looks to be, but possibly maybe broken. I don't know yet until I try to remove it. I've already removed some of the components here, including the shelving unit that was here. I'm hoping that nothing was actually broken, otherwise I'm going to have to start all over. You can see there's no room here to get back here, but I think there's L brackets holding this, that were holding this in place. We'll see if I can remove those, and if I can get those out, then this whole unit should come out fairly easily. It's also made from that same light wood fir, I think it is. I'll double check that. I picked up this laminated wood from Home Depot, so I'll be giving full measurements and construction tips for this unit here, for the build into the other one. I haven't bolted anything down, but as you can see, I've put in the kitchenette. I've transferred the kitchenette from the other vehicle to this one, and I went ahead and took some measurements. So if you're building this from scratch, you can get the measurements. This top board right here is also the laminated fir, I think it is, or pine, I don't know. I think it's fir. I'll double check it at Home Depot, which is where I got it, and let you know the pieces I used. But this piece right here, the top piece, is 38 3/4 inches across by 15 3/4 inches deep. So this is 15 3/4 inches, and this is 38 3/4 inches. I also have 4 pieces that I use as supporting beams here, and those are the sides, what I labeled here sides. The height is 16 1/4 inch, and the width is 16 inches. What that means is this height right here is 16 1/4, and the width going that way is 16 inches. And like I said, I've got 4 of those. And something important that you need to note about the construction, you'll notice that, like here, I put in a drawer here, and I've made a little shelving unit to hold up that drawer unit, and that's what's holding it in place. But this drawer right here determines the width of where I'm putting this middle leg here. And the reason I did it that way is to make sure the drawer would fit, obviously. When you get your drawer unit, if you get the same one, it'll probably be the same width, but they have changed the style somewhat. I wish that dog would be quiet, but he's been barking for like an hour now and won't stop. But anyhow, if you put the drawers in, then you can go ahead and put the leg down and it'll fit. We're going to be doing the same thing on this side. Basically, I got a larger drawer unit and I placed it here, you know, against this side wall here, and then that helps me to determine where this middle leg goes. And then this other area here is where I put in the drawers, which were kind of a pain because trying to get the tracks here to line up perfectly was kind of difficult. The particular rails that I got here I picked up from Home Depot, and they're 16-inch rails. I bought 2 sets. And how I measured the height was I basically determined what I was going to put in. You know, I had a drawer that I was going to put here, a sliding drawer, but then I placed the item on it to see how high it needed to be, and that's what helped me get the height. And as you can see, I had a bunch of little holes here because I couldn't line it up perfectly and make it level and whatnot, so it was basically trial and error. And my advice would be basically get this side done first, get this side done, well, second, or this side first and the other side second, then do the center. And you'll notice that because you have the drawer here, this width that you're going to go across from here to here for the sliding drawers is slightly less than that measurement. And the reason it's slightly less is because you got the sliders that have to go on here. And I think the sliders take up like about 1/4 of an inch. So you can see it's like about 1/4 of an inch here and 1/4 of an inch there. But it's going to be trial and error to get it to line up. Initially, I cut the drawers from here to here, you know, the width of it. But then it wouldn't fit because the railings made it so that it would take up more space. So I had to shave the edges off the drawers to get them to fit. So hopefully that will save you a little bit of time. As far as the process of building everything, my recommendation is to start off with the side unit here, because you want to have the drawers and everything lined up and where you're going to go in the layout. Then when you lay that piece out, you can do your kitchenette from, you know, if you do like mine, I have this little, well, quite spacious area here of tall storage here for like boogie boards and chairs and other tall items that would be hard to store. And then from there, you can determine the width that you have available for a kitchenette, depending on how, you know, you could have even went all the way across. I chose not to go across because you can see here I have access still to the storage for this particular van. It has storage of a jack there, and you'd need to be able to access it. Oh, I see a problem. The original vehicle, I didn't use the carpeting, and right over here is actually, there's like a little cap thingy for the underneath here is where it carries the donut, the spare wheel, spare tire, and I went in and covered it. Now this particular vehicle doesn't have a donut anyways, but I'm hoping I'm not gonna have to rip up this floor and cut a hole for that spot. But really, if you're building this, don't cover up the access to the donut screw thingy. This vehicle doesn't have it, and I'm not sure I'm gonna get a donut, but you really, you know, should carry a spare tire in case you do get a flat and you know, like the tire's completely blown and it may get you out of an emergency bind. Otherwise, you're gonna have to carry the tire in here somewhere. So more than likely, as much as I don't want to, I'm probably gonna have to bust this thing open and cut out a spot for that to access that tab that allows me to release the donut. Like I said, this particular vehicle doesn't have a donut on it. My other vehicle did, and but the donut was so bad I went ahead and kept it off. But it really is something that you should put a good set of tires on, because when you have a flat tire out in the middle of nowhere, that might be the only way you're going to get back to, you know, civilization or something where you can get service done on a tire. So more than likely, all this work with the floor here is going to have to come out, or at least part of it's going to have to come out. I got to determine where the hole is, and then I'll have to try to cut it somehow. Boy, that sucks. For sizing purposes, I have put the drawers in here so that I know the width of how far this needs to come out. I've also lined up the screws here, And I have my knee pressing on this side wall unit here to push it in, to get it as tight as possible. And, you know, having the drawer there sets the spacing so the drawer will fit. Now I'm going to go ahead and screw this guy in. And screw in this other screw. And our console is mounted. Our side unit here for the drawer unit. If you were building this from scratch, you would have built this L-shaped thing right here. You wouldn't have any of these pieces yet. You just have this top piece and this elongated piece here. And you would size it with the drawers and whatnot so that you know how the width or the depth of this piece here. That way everything fits. See, it's tight now. I mean, it could be forced out if you need to get it out, but you need to kind of stay in place, so it's fairly tight. And then when I put the other drawer units on here, we'll have a nice drawer set. What's cool about it is right now I can still remove it all and have access to it because I still need to put up the curtains and stuff. But now that I've got that, what I will do is start securing the side unit to this kitchenette area here so things don't fly around. Okay, once we've lined everything up, we've made sure that that side unit is flushed and that we've squeezed in the drawer so it's fairly tight. I'm probably going to put another L bracket down there to hold it in place. But now we can secure the side unit to the kitchenette. And I've already done the back screw. And I'm going to get ready to do the front one here now. You'll notice I left a little bit of a gap because the wood kind of warps and you know it expands and contracts a little bit, so I don't want to put it super tight, but I left a little gap and that's okay. There's plenty of room here. I mean, it doesn't have to be an exact super tight fit. And we have all the storage here. Now I'm leaving this area open because I'm going to be putting boogie boards and other water type stuff back here because my kids and I like to go to the beach. If you didn't want to do that, you could conceivably put another unit of those, one of those drawer units back here, and then you'd have more storage back here. Or you could line it up to this part here, you know, this part right here, and then have some storage in there. It's whatever you want, but I personally kind of like having this tall vertical storage because I can put tall things in here. Now all that remains to be done is to L bracket this part down so it doesn't fly around. L bracket like that to make it so it stays. And then the last step would be to I have the mount right there for the seat. To convert it to bed, I'll need to measure and do this side, right over on this side. And then little Blue 2 is pretty much done, other than installing power systems and an inverter and whatnot, which we'll cover later. I just wanted to point out a tip. I already mentioned it earlier about these sliding drawers that were installed. These are 16-inch sliders that I bought from Home Depot. Like I said, I bought 2 sets of them, one for the top and one for the bottom slider. And I had mentioned that you cannot just measure the width of that to determine the width of the drawer. The reason for that is, see the hardware on here, the rack itself, the slider. When you put that on, it takes up space. So you can see here, you can see all my cut marks. I had to keep recutting because originally I had just measured this width and it was too large once you put the hardware on it. But now it fits and slides nicely. But you can see that there's a gap here of almost, it's a little bit over 1/4 of an inch and a little bit over 1/4 of an inch on this side. So that means the width in between these two, this side and this side here, is slightly less. So the drawer, you're going to have to do a trial and error, you know, and then trim it down until it fits and try to get as tight as you can to get a good fit. And that's why it's important to do the drawers on the side first. Once you put the drawers in on this side and this side, that helps you to determine how large a drawer area you have here. And you can see that on my van right here, I actually have plenty of room. I could actually go out a little bit more if I wanted to here on the side because of this extra space. That means if you build this particular unit to this size, I think it would work on most minivans without having to change much. You know, because it's smaller than the width of the whole van, and the whole width of it itself is only it's only 38 3/4 inches long, almost 39 inches, 39 inches wide, going that way. So this is pretty much it, other than the seat. And I'm going to go ahead and bring the other kitchenette type items here so you can see how the kitchenette looks. But I'll be giving an official tour once the whole vehicle is up and completely assembled.